Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and this week's list, we're doing 10 more deleted Star Wars scenes we wish hadn't been cut. Now I've got to be honest, I don't think I've seen any of these. To be honest, I don't often watch deleted scenes, you know, that you see on DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. I used to watch that sort of thing all the time, but in recent years, I kind of not bother with special features. I think because special features are kind of becoming a bit of a lost art, and we don't see them very often. Not on the discs that I seem to buy, anyway. Not special features of any worth, anyway. It's just a lot of, you know, patting themselves on the back and stuff like that, you know, in documentaries and stuff. But I'm waffling. Before we get going, don't forget, when we're on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos and drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you've subscribed already, or if you're on Rumble, do the other stuff that Rumble does, and it's not a live stream, but my live stream's also on Twitch, but as I said, I'm also on Rumble and Spotify and Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts eventually. I've got a Patreon. This is going to start off its life, this video, on Patreon, and then it's going to go on to all the other things. So there you go. That's one of the joys of Patreon. You can see things early. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Links for those are in the description. I forgot to pick my books up. Hang on, they're here. Come here. Just move that DVD out of the way. Links for my 2 books are in the description. Silent Predator, a short horror novella about big cats in a North Yorkshire village, and Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff. Just a bit of fun. They're on Amazon, Kindle and paperback. Right, let's get on with this story. There it is. 10 more deleted scenes we wish hadn't been cut. Not every scene can be in the final cut of a movie, but 10 deleted Star Wars scenes would have improved the story and fleshed out certain characters. And there's an image. That's obviously Captain Phasma. She's got some dots on her helmet, because you can see all the camera crew in the background. There's the boom mic. So I presume those dots are to the digital artist to paint out the background. But anyway, and there's Gwendolyn Christie's eye. Oh, she's got some dots on her other stuff as well. Just don't make it reflective. Basically, just going to paint over her entire helmet, aren't they? An arm. Anyway. We won't bother with that. Right, several deleted scenes never made it into the final versions of the Star Wars movies, but many of these scenes deserve not to be cut. Most deleted scenes are cut for a reason, either because the scene didn't turn out how the filmmakers intended, or because it proved to be unnecessary. Even if a scene is good on its own, it may still need to be cut to improve the movie as a whole. However, some deleted Star Wars scenes could have stayed in the movie without detracting from the overall story. By the way, I don't usually read these, you know what I'm like. I just see the headlines and I just go for it. But I did actually scan through them. I haven't read the whole article, but I just scanned through. There's actually one deleted scene that I think should have been in, that they haven't included, but never mind. We'll do that afterwards. Right, we'll talk about it. Certain deleted scenes would have improved the movie by fleshing out different characters. Movies only have around 2 hours to tell the audience everything they need to know about a character. Not these days. Movies are bloody 3.5 hours long these days. Bring back intermissions, that's all I say. Overtures and intermissions. Bring those back. But a lot of scenes that were cut from the Star Wars movies could have added a lot of information in less than a minute. World building is just as important when the story takes place in a galaxy far, far away. Drinking game. It's just water today. Tap water. Oh, sorry, water from the faucet. Or as we say in Yorkshire, tap water or council pop. Right, world building, just said that bit, and several deleted scenes made the plot and the conflicts more logical. 12 deleted Star Wars scenes would have accomplished all these goals had they not been cut from their respective movies. That should have been written in the letters 12. You've got 2 there. You know, you've got to be consistent, haven't you? That's what I was taught in English. If you start off with your numbers, if you start off spelling them out in words, in letters, continue that trend. Don't just start adding numerals in willy-nilly, unless it's absolutely necessary. But whatever. Right, so number 10. They've put 12 there. 12 deleted Star Wars scenes would have accomplished all these goals had they not been cut from there. But it says 10. Is that a difference? It says there 12 deleted Star Wars. I'm confused now. But we'll carry on with this and then we'll go back to that. Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? But we'll go with that, right. Number 10, Anakin's scuffle with Greedo. I know about this one. There he is, scuffling with Greedo, and Anakin Skywalker grew into a completely different person during the 10-year gap between episodes 1 and 2, but a deleted scene from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, showed a bit of his future self. Anakin's scuffle with Greedo starts with Anakin angrily beating up a Rodian who accused him of cheating in the Bunta Eve pod race, until the fight is broken up by Qui-Gon Jinn. The Jedi Master gives Anakin some good advice, while Wald, who's the Warwick Davis character, another Rodian, warns Greedo that one day he'll come to a bad end, foreshadowing his death at the hands of Han Solo in A New Hope. So there we go. There's Wald there. You see me mouse pointer? Hang on. There we go. There's Wald there. I don't know all these others, but there's anyway. Yeah, so there's a nice little scene with that, but they didn't include it. There's a YouTube link. Right, number 9, The Lost 20, Attack of the Clones. There's Snoke. A lot of people say she's Snoke. No. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, featured several deleted scenes that expanded on Count Dooku's character, especially the Lost 20. Chief Librarian Jocasta Nu explains to Obi-Wan Kenobi why Dooku left the Jedi Order and eventually returned as the head of the Separatist movement, greatly expanding on his backstory and motivation in less than a minute. It also introduces the concept of the Lost 20 Jedi who left the Order, considering that Dooku doesn't appear until an hour into the final version of the movie. This scene would have built anticipation for his debut and made his later actions more interesting. But why would they have a statue of somebody who left the Jedi Order? Presumably under a cloud, but never mind. And again, another clip. Dooku interrogates Padme, Attack of the Clones again. By the way, I like Attack of the Clones. People rag on it, don't they, for some weird reason. I know it's got some pretty dire parts in it, but as a whole, I really enjoy the movie, and to be honest, it could be my favourite of the prequel films, you know. Shocking, but I really like Attack of the Clones. For the most part. But all Star Wars films, you know, have dips. They have dips in the, you know, the action. They have, you know, scenes or segments that do slow it down, and Attack of the Clones is no exception. Anyway, Dooku interrogates Padme was another great deleted scene that clarified the motivations of Dooku and the Separatist movement as a whole. Padme gets to attempt the diplomatic solution she told Anakin about earlier, and the scene brilliantly conveys her and Dooku's differing points of view. Dooku believes that the Republic is beyond saving, and that the galaxy needs to start over, while Padme refuses to betray her ideals by siding with the government funded by the very corporations that nearly destroyed her planet. Padme using the word rebellion is very interesting, since her allies eventually laid the foundation of the rebellion against the Empire. And that's actually a deleted scene that isn't included in this. I don't think it is anyway. Number 7, Rancor Pit, the Clone Wars movie. Remember that? A lot of people forget that the Clone Wars actually started with the theatrical release. Anyway, Star Wars The Clone Wars theatrical release originally had a bigger lightsaber duel between Anakin, Asajj Ventress and Ahsoka Tano, as seen in the Rancor Pit deleted scene. Anakin and Ventress's rivalry is fleshed out by hinting at a previous encounter between the two, and all three characters banter a bit before the duel starts. The fight in the Rancor Pit is highly entertaining, with lots of things going on, including a lightsaber duel on top of a Rancor, battle droids firing at the opponents, and Ahsoka trying to manage a baby Hutt. I can't remember his name now. It's Jabba the Hutt's son, isn't it? R2-D2 also gets a chance to shine by taking out droids during the duel, and there's the YouTube clip. Alright, number 6, Han Solo, Imperial Cadet from the film Solo. I don't remember this. Obviously, I've got it. You know, we've obviously got it on Blu-ray, but I've never checked out this deleted scenes. Han Solo dreamed of becoming a pilot in Solo: A Star Wars Story, only for the final film to skip over his time at the Imperial Academy. Han Solo, Imperial Cadet, offered a brief glimpse of his time as a TIE pilot in the Imperial Navy and served as a better transition to Han becoming a soldier on Mimban. Clocking in at only 2 minutes, it wouldn't have been too hard to keep the scene in the movie. Yeah, should have kept it in. Obviously got injured there, didn't he, if that's him. But, yeah, so there's the link if you want to watch that. Follow the link in the description, and you can watch that. Obviously, I'm not going to play it because I'll probably get, in trouble. Right, number 5, Jar Jar Rod's Conflict, Return of the Jedi. I'm surprised I haven't seen this one, to be honest. But, anyway, I've heard of it, but I'm surprised I haven't seen it. Right, Jar Jar Rod's Conflict is an especially great deleted scene because of how much it accomplishes at once. It expands on Moff Jar Jar Rod's character, illustrates how Darth Vader is losing favour with the Emperor, and adds higher stakes to the Battle of Endor. By the way, it's only called Moff Jar Jar Rod, I think, in the novelisation. I think in the movie he's just referred to as Commander, isn't he? But anyway. Palpatine orders Jar Jar Rod to destroy the Forest Moon if the shield generator is compromised, and though he complies, as in, he accepts the order, he didn't do it, obviously, he and the other Imperials are shaken. That's it. He said, we've got lots of men down there, basically. Lando Calrissian would have had a countdown to destroying the Death Star in time, and the Imperials would have felt more three-dimensional. And there's the clip. So I'm going to watch all these later. From El Regreso del Jedi. Hope it's not in Spanish. Anyway, Finn and the Villager. Now, I think I have seen this one. But there's another one from Force Awakens that they haven't included here with the like a speeder chase on Starkiller Base that they've not included. But that'd be nice, nice to see. Because they just jump from one place to another, but in between there was this speeder chase, which would have been nice. But I don't think they've included that in here. They've just included this and Finn. Finn's disillusionment with the First Order was one of the best parts of Star Wars The Force Awakens, and a deleted scene from the beginning of the movie would have made it more powerful. Finn and the Villager shows then FN 2187 stumbling across an unarmed woman who he can't bring himself to kill. Combined with watching his friend die, Finn being ordered to fire on all the villagers would have been the third strike that made him lose faith in everything he knew. Yeah, like I said, that would have been a good thing to include, because it won't have lasted long. Like I say, a minute at most. Anyway, there's the YouTube link. Right, Leia and the Resistance, The Force Awakens. Again, The Force Awakens sometimes suffered from a lack of proper world building, particularly regarding the state of the galaxy at large, but Leia and the Resistance... Oh, I said Leia, not Leia. I usually said Leia, don't I? Like him in the original Star Wars. Princess Leia! Anyway, would have fixed that in less than 20 seconds. It establishes that the Republic has refused to take action against the First Order, and that Leia is an outcast in the Senate, and explains why Core Sella is on Hosnian Prime when the First Order fires Starkiller Base. The scene was likely cut to save Leia's introduction for later, but it's impressive how so much information was conveyed in so little time. Yeah, she was there with Leia. In the the Resistance HQ, but then obviously we saw her later on Hosnian Prime watching everything be destroyed. But there's the link. Right, number 2, Caretaker Village Sequence, The Last Jedi. I've seen this one. Luke promised to teach Rey 3 lessons, but only 2 appeared in the final film, even though the 3rd lesson was completed. Right after Rey tells Luke that she won't fail him, she rushes off to save the caretakers when Luke misleads her into believing that they are in danger. Luke meant to show her that she was the kind of person the Resistance needed, not the Jedi religion, but Rey angrily storms off after saying she was wrong about him. The scene was directed incredibly well, and transitions nicely into Luke and Rey's following scenes, making it curious why the Caretaker Village scene was cut from The Last Jedi. Don't matter what you cut from The Last Jedi, the film's still crap. I mean, I've got my own fan edit of The Last Jedi that I don't watch because the film's garbage, but I did a fan edit where I cut out lots of it, including the entire, I forgot the name of it, that casino planet, I forgot the name of it. That entire scene, that can be cut out. Don't need it. You can just go from Rey leaving Act 2 and arriving at the Resistance fleet, you know, being chased by the First Order. And you're not losing anything. You're not losing anything. And I moved Finn waking up. I moved that from the beginning of the movie to near the end. So he didn't have to go to... what's the name of that place now? The Casino Planet. We're on tip of my tongue then. Canto Bight. That's it, Canto Bight. Everybody that's watching this video was screaming that. Anyway, back to The Last Jedi again. Odd, isn't it, how The Last Jedi, number 2 and number 1. That screen rant telling us something. Number 1, Phasma squealed like a whoop hog. What the hell is a whoop hog? Anyway. The final deleted scene that should have stayed in The Last Jedi is Phasma squealed like a whoop hog. Captain Phasma was severely underutilised in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, you don't say. But this alternate version of her fight with Finn would have been a much better send-off for the character. Finn exposes Phasma in front of the other stormtroopers, by revealing that she lowered the shields on Starkiller Base to save her own life. Well, she didn't do it, she told them how to do it, forcing her to kill them before Finn kills her. The scene builds off Phasma's character from The Force Awakens and shows that Finn can get through to his fellow stormtroopers, a great setup for the next Star Wars movie. Well, maybe so, but that's probably Finn telling the other stormtroopers that she squealed like a whoop hog when they had her on Starkiller Base with a gun to her head, and that's it. But what's this other one? Let's have a look at this other one up at the top. There were 12, weren't there, up here? So we'll carry on with those. I was going to mention something else, wasn't I? And I can't remember what it was now. The other scene that I thought should have been not deleted. Maybe it's in these other 12, I don't know. But it's the scene basically from Revenge of the Sith where it shows Padme and Mon Mothma and what's his face, Bail Organa and a few others basically meeting and basically the formation of the rebellion, you know, them talking about going against, you know, what the Chancellor Palpatine were doing with the Republic. But anyway, let's have a look at this. We'll open this in a new tab. Right, 12 deleted scenes we wish hadn't been cut. Right, so this is from last May. Right, so let's have a look. What the heck, we'll carry on. The Star Wars franchise's various films and television shows includes a plethora of deleted scenes and concepts. Many of these scenes arguably should have remained in their respective projects. In both the canon and Legends continuities, the Star Wars franchise includes materials in all possible mediums, but the central storyline to the two timelines is the Skywalker saga, consisting of the original and prequel trilogies for the Legends continuity and an additional 3 saga films that belong exclusively to the post-2014 canon. What are they talking about Legends for? So they're Screen Rant now saying that the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy are now legends, therefore not canon. Knobheads. Anyway, while most of the Skywalker saga's deleted scenes were perhaps correctly left out of the final cuts, several notable scenes would have benefited from the characters and lore. I bet Luke building his lightsaber at the beginning of Return of the Jedi is in here. Anyway, Star Wars canon and Legends tend to revive rejected concepts in later works sooner or later, with unused character designs and planets usually turning up. That also applies to deleted scenes, which can often be found in their respective films' novelisations or other adaptations. This often provides extended or even recontextualised iterations, I won't go in French for that, of the Star Wars films, proving that some deleted scenes ought to have remained in the final cuts of the films. Here are the Star Wars Skywalker saga's 12 deleted scenes that perhaps should not have been cut. Right, number 12, Tosche Station, A New Hope. There we go, this we're meeting Luke and Biggs, I think that's Fixer, and this is Cammy, played by Koostark. One of the most famous deleted scenes in A New Hope was the film's inclusion of the Tosche Station, which would have significantly changed the film's first act. More of Luke Skywalker's relatively mundane life on Tatooine and his lovable dorkiness would have been depicted further, adding weight to the tragic loss of his adopted parents and his decision to leave his old life behind. George Lucas allegedly cut this moment due to both its similarities to American Graffiti and the desire to quicken the pace of A New Hope's opening act. I bet George Lucas didn't cut it at all. I bet Marsha did, or one of the others. I forgot his name now. Chew. I can't remember his first name now. And the other one. But yeah, I can see why it was cut. But it was a nice little scene. But we did see Fixer and Cammy in The Mandalorian, didn't we? Obviously played by different actors, but we did see those characters again in The Mandalorian. Oh, in Book of Boba Fett. Oh, Book of Boba Fett, wasn't it? I think. Yes, it was. But it was a nice scene, and it showed, like I said, Biggs looking through the macro binoculars at the Death Star in orbit. Obviously, the special effects hadn't really been done. They were just some like lights and stuff. But it was nice that they didn't really. Biggs is his best friend, but Cammy and Fixer weren't really friends of Luke's. They were just acquaintances, and Cammy even refers to Luke as Wormy. So they didn't really like him. Anyway, again, Luke and Biggs, A New Hope. Building off the Tosche Station scene in A New Hope was also the earlier introduction of Biggs Darklighter. Great name. The scene would have further developed Luke's frustration with his stagnant life of a moisture farmer and his desire to join the rebellion. No, he wanted to join. He wanted to join the academy, didn't he? Because he was surprised when Biggs told him that he and some of his other academy graduates were going to jump ship and join the rebellion. And he was surprised, wasn't he? Anyway, as well as deepening the tragedy of Biggs's death at the Battle of Yavin. Like the Tosche Station scene, this moment was included in the A New Hope radio drama, along with an extended prologue involving Princess Leia on Raltier. I don't remember seeing that bit. And I don't remember that either. Oh, right, radio drama, yes. I've listened to it, but it's a long time since I've listened to that. Alderaan and during the Battle of Toprawa. As I said, it's a long time since I listened to the New Hope radio drama. I think I've got it somewhere on my computer. I think I saved it. I think it was on YouTube or something like that, and I think I saved it. So I'll have to give that a listen again. But yeah, it was a good little scene. But as I said, they didn't want to clutter up the beginning of the film with all this like Luke backstory exposition. They just wanted to get in there, didn't they? And see him introduced when the Jawas arrived with the droids. What else were I going to say? I can't remember. But oh yes, I'm going to say about Biggs's death on the Battle of Yavin, which were caused by Wedge and his big fat mouth. Because remember, Wedge had gone. He said, he can't stay with them. I think they'd hit his engine or something. He said, they can't stay with you, sorry. And he retreated from the battle. And instead of just heading back for Yavin 4, he must have just hung out there, flying about. And he comes over the radio, doesn't say, hurry up, Luke, or worse to that effect. And Wedge hears it, not Wedge, Biggs hears him. And he obviously thinks that Wedge is back, back in the battle. And he goes, oh, wait, what, when? And then that distraction allows Darth Vader to destroy him. Maybe he would have destroyed him anyway, but I'm blaming the distraction. Right, first mention of Sith Lords, A New Hope. Fascinatingly, the Sith Order and their rivalry... By the way, this is a better list than the one we've just done earlier, isn't it? Fascinatingly, the Sith Order and their rivalry with the Jedi Knights was ideated, is that a word? By George Lucas to a degree before A New Hope's theatrical release. The Death Star conference room scene initially included a direct mention of Sith Lords, but this dialogue was trimmed out of the film's final cut. Considering... I don't know if Sith is actually even mentioned in A New Hope. Star Wars. I don't think it is, anyway. Considering how vital Sith are to the greater Star Wars lore, the dialogue should not have been cut, as it would have revealed that Darth Vader was not just a fallen Jedi, but also an entirely different sort of Force user. Despite this, A New Hope's comic and novel adaptations mentioned Sith Lords, as did other early Legends era properties. I remember at the time, the story going round, I don't know if this was George Lucas approved, was that on the volcanic world that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, he wasn't called Anakin Skywalker at this time, he was still Darth Vader, fought on, and Vader fell into the volcano, and Obi-Wan thought he was dead. But then he was found, I think he was found by the Sith, and they resurrected him, and that's how he became a Sith Lord. It was nothing to do with, the rule of two and all this, and Palpatine and all that being Sith. It was he was found by the Sith Lords, and they sort of took him in and made him a Sith Lord. But anyway, that was the early stories, but obviously it changed. Right, number 9, extended Imperial probe droid scenes. Empire Strikes Back. Imperial probe droid that discovers the rebel base on Hoth initially wreaked far more havoc before Han Solo and Chewbacca destroyed it. The droid was initially going to kill a squirrel-like creature with its blaster. What's that doing on Hoth? But this was changed to a Wampa in the film's novelisation, which makes far more sense. Which had the droid adjust its blaster's power settings to disintegrate the creature in a single blast. The novelisation and comic adaptation also suggest that the probe droid would have attacked a rebel outpost, killing all its occupants, which makes sense. These scenes would have demonstrated the threat of a single Imperial probe droid, adding tension to its encounter with Han and Chewbacca. Yeah, it would. But it would also show that Han and Chewbacca kind of, got rid of it quickly, didn't they? Because if it were capable of going and vaporising a Wampa and then destroying a rebel outpost by itself, why would it just destroy itself after Han gets off a sneaky blaster shot at it? Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Really, when you think about it. Right, number 8, Yoda tests Luke's skills, Empire Strikes Back. Luke Skywalker's gruelling month of training on Dagobah under the guidance of Yoda. Gruelling month. So we don't actually know how long he was on Dagobah. Some say it was, a few weeks, some say it was a few months. It could have been a long time, because remember, during this time, the Millennium Falcon is limping to Bespin, isn't it? So, because its hyperdrive's not working, so it took them a long time to get there. Luckily, they must have had a good food supply on the Millennium Falcon, or maybe they've got replicators. I don't know. Anyway, but there was one training session that was cut. Luke would have attempted to slice apart a metal bar in midair, struggling to strike it even once on his first attempt. As with many deleted scenes, this could be found in the Empire Strikes Back novelisation, where it was included as part of Luke's Force-assisted acrobatics training. Luke's lightsaber combat skills improved significantly by the end of the Empire Strikes Back, so this scene would have shown viewers a small portion of his lightsaber training. But I think they should have showed more of a passage of time in Empire and give us, they should have had a bit of a montage, to be honest. I know it's not really a Star Wars thing, but it would have shown us that Luke's getting trained. Should have shown him at first not succeeding at things and then getting better, showing the Falcon, cruising through space, showing Han and Leia getting closer together until, the final, when they do finally go to kiss. But, a little montage scene of a minute or 2 minutes at most with some John Williams music over it would have added to the film, in my opinion, but some might have thought it looked goofy, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, number 7, Endor Bunker Raid, Return of the Jedi. You rebel scum. Oh, with his Wilhelm scream, doesn't he, when he gets knocked over the thing. Oh no, that's another fella, isn't it? It says rebel scum afterwards, doesn't it? Lots of one-line actors, isn't there, in Star Wars? Good, our first catch of the day. Blah. That's in Empire, isn't it? Practiced all day, that line. Anyway, while Return of the Jedi's final cut focuses mostly on the heroism of the Ewoks during the ground battle on Endor, one deleted scene involves Han Solo and his strike team of rebels fighting Imperial stormtroopers in the shield bunker. The scene is quick and brutal, with Solo's team wiping out a squad of patrolling stormtroopers and taking a casualty of their own. Considering that the original Star Wars trilogy only includes one other battle between Rebel and Imperial troops, this scene should have been kept in Return of the Jedi. Yes, I agree. Right, more Rebel pilots over Endor. Return of the Jedi. This is number 6. Return of the Jedi also included far more Rebel pilots in the Battle of Endor, with human, women and aliens, such as additional Salustans and Mon Calamari, populating the Rebel fighter squadrons. Out of all the original Star Wars trilogy films, Return of the Jedi portrays the Rebellion's diversity the most, so it is unfortunate that these pilots were removed from the final cut. Return of the Jedi... The original trilogy is very racist, isn't it? Or speciesist, I should say. And never mind. Return of the Jedi space battle is popularly seen as the best one in the saga. Yeah, in the Skywalker saga. I mean, I think personally now it's been outdone by the Battle of Scarif in Rogue One. But Return of the Jedi is a very close second. It is amazing, and it was the greatest space battle on film. Of any kind in any film, right up until the Battle of Scarif, in my opinion. Anyway, so including more Rebel pilots would further diversify the rebellion and give the film an excuse for a longer action sequence. But we did see a woman, didn't we? We did see a female fighter pilot in Return of the Jedi, so, thumbs up for that. Here we go. Bail Organa's vote of no confidence, The Phantom Menace. Oh, right, we're out of the original trilogy, now into the prequels. Supreme Chancellor Valorum's removal from office in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Sorry, there we go. Played right into Senator Palpatine's hands, but this event nearly introduced a pivotal Star Wars character early. Bail Organa, who was initially set to be played by Adrian Dunbar. Oh, that name rings a bell. Probably seen him in something else, would have voted to have Valorum removed, though Dunbar's character was later revealed to be Senator and Prince Bail Antilles, with Organa being played by Jimmy Smits. Oh, that's interesting. In any case, considering Bail Organa's importance to the Star Wars saga, including him in The Phantom Menace, even as Palpatine's unwitting pawn, would have benefited the franchise. Yeah, because remember, it must be. Is he related to Wedge Antilles? I think he's supposed to be, isn't he? Because I think Wedge Antilles was supposed to be like this rich kid who ran off to join the rebellion and ended up proving himself, didn't he? Except for in the Death Star fight, the first one, the Battle of Yavin. But he ended up proving himself, didn't he? Did Wedge? Anyway, and is that because there's a Captain Antilles as well, isn't there? Who took 3PO and R2 at the end of Revenge of the Sith. That's Captain Antilles. So is he related as well? In the book, he was Captain Colton, wasn't he, in the novelisation by Alan Dean Foster. He was Captain Colton, but they changed it in the film. Right, number 4, Padme addresses the Senate, Attack of the Clones. The first act of Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, nearly included a scene immediately following Zam Wesell's failed assassination attempt on Padme Amidala. Padme would posit that the assassins were likely attempting to silence her from speaking out against the Republic's militarising in response to the Separatist crisis. Crikey. This short scene would have reinforced Palpatine's machinations. Is it machinations or machinations? I would say machinations. In the film, and Padme's unyielding opposition to war with the Separatists, and thus should have stayed in the final cut. Yeah, I suppose so. I say I haven't seen that one. I've seen some of the... I might have seen it, but forgotten. Anyway, Padme's family on Naboo. Yes, we've seen this. This didn't need to be in. I don't know why they're showing this, or including this. But never mind. During Padme and Anakin Skywalker's stay on Naboo in Attack of the Clones, Padme's family and early life would have been explored. Because I think it went on a bit too long, this one. Like deleted scenes that are quite short, I think fair enough. But this one did seem to go on quite a bit. There were a few scenes, actually. Similar to the deleted Tosche Station scenes in A New Hope, these scenes would have provided Padme, Naboo, and the film writ large with a look at the more mundane elements of the Star Wars galaxy, in addition to further delving into Padmé's personal life and background as a humanitarian. The extended scenes would have also further developed the often derided romance between Padmé and Anakin. Yeah, this is not the best part of Attack of the Clones, is it? It's more funny than anything, but yeah. And I agree that they should have took those out. Maybe add a little bit of it back in, because there's a few scenes. There's like a dinner scene, like a washing up scene, and Anakin talking to Padmé's father scene, and it was quite on a bit. Oh, here we go. This is the one I was talking about before. Birth of the Rebel Alliance, Revenge of the Sith. They should have kept this in. Actually, in my, I said I do fan edits for myself. In my Revenge of the Sith fan edit, I put this scene back in because it were on the DVD. A major subplot in the Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith would have had Padmé Amidala, Bail Organa, Mon Mothma and other Republic politicians forming the Delegation of 2000, which would later grow into the Rebel Alliance. Revenge of the Sith ultimately ties the Star Wars original and prequel trilogies together, and these scenes would have explained the beginnings of the original trilogy's heroic faction. Moreover, the scenes would have provided Padmé with even more character development and revealed the growing rift between her and Anakin before the latter's rebirth as the Sith Lord Darth Vader. Yeah, that's it. I think they should have kept that in. But was that a deleted scene? No, they were a deleted. I don't know. I can't remember. Between like Padmé and Anakin, where they're talking about. No, that were kept in, wasn't it? I get mixed up between my fan edits and the actual proper ones. But yes, we did see Anakin and Padmé like arguing about. But I think I'm thinking of when they were on Naboo, and I think there was one in Revenge of the Sith where he accuses her of talking like a separatist. That could be it. I can't remember. Anyway, number 1, Luke mourns Han, the Last Jedi. No paper in the Star Wars universe. Like one of George's tenets, wasn't there? Yeah, much like there's no underwear. Star Wars The Last Jedi is the Star Wars franchise's most divisive film because it's rubbish, with many of its critics arguing that it definitively misunderstood its characters and wasted its predecessors' setups. You know why? Because it were a first draft script. Luke Skywalker, whose characterisation already does not align with his original trilogy behaviour, is notably not given a moment to properly mourn the death of Han Solo, one of his best friends. A deleted scene would have given him a brief moment to remember Solo, which would have moderately mitigated The Last Jedi's criticism, as it would lend weight to the death of a beloved Star Wars hero. But they're saying a deleted scene. Is that... Are they just saying they want a scene where Luke mourns Han? Not that there was actually a deleted scene where they filmed it, him mourning Han. I don't know, because I haven't looked at the deleted scenes, I don't think, on The Last Jedi. So I think that one's should have left that one out and just left it at 11 scenes. But anyway, so there we go. I just thought I'd share those with you. So we did 2 lots then, didn't we? We did 10 and then 12. So that's interesting. So I'll put the links in the description. You can watch the YouTube videos in this one. There you go. If you want to do that. So, right, we'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see thee.